again. I am Janine Bolon, and this is Open Friday Coffee. I have been a published author for just a little bit, since about 2005. And as the technology has changed and moved, I've wanted to have a closer relationship with my readers. And so with that, we have these Open Friday Coffees. These are actually Q&A sessions. They started off for my students, and because I think I have like 112 online courses now or something like that. And so my students always come on and ask a few questions, and that's what this is. If you're looking for a networking group or something like that, then you may want to be involved in my beta reader hub. But for starters, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I'm going to kind of cruise through a few things that will be a little bit easier for people to follow with us. And let's go ahead and put me on the big screen, Lynette. If you could change the view to spotlight for a moment for us. And we can see what will happen with that. And once again, we're having we're having fun. There we go. Anyway, so the Beta Reader Hub, this is started because of this book. In 2005, I wrote this book, Money, It's Not Just for Rich People. And there was a lot of differences in the world at that time. And so I started Beta Reader Hub so you can join up. Lynette's going to put the link in the chat. I am getting off of Active Campaign, ClickFunnels, MailChimp, all of those very necessary programs for certain types of businesses. And I've decided I'm simplify, simplify, simplify. My email list will consist of people who actually want to know what I am saying. And there's so much that has changed with technology just in the last 2 years that even though I kept pace with it, I've decided skip it. We're going to make it easier. We're going to stop doing this. And so I just wanted to let you know that if you want to stay in my world and get notified of Open Friday coffees and get notified of these things, you will need to sign up to the Beta Reader Hub. I will contact you once a week. You do not have to worry about doing anything other than just hanging out there, but that is where I'm going to protect my community from a lot of stuff that's happening. I cannot protect you if you're on all these other platforms. I can on this one. Okay. So that's what I am doing, a big shift with my people on that. So go ahead and sign up. It's free, and I'm treating it like I would MailChimp, only you're just going to hear about what books I'm working on, that sort of thing. You also will be there with avid readers of my community. The other thing is if you haven't received your Open Friday coffee, kind of your trademark that you've been here, which is you're on mute. A lot of my folks like to use the card, you're on mute, because we spend our life on Zoom these days, it seems like. So definitely sign up, and we'll be glad to get that card to you. I've had some people go, Janine, I moved, I can't find my card. Would you send me another one? The answer is, of course I will. Of course I will. Go ahead and make it happen for yourself. The other thing is I get a lot of people who say, well, Janine, I need to get a part of your network. I want to know how to get more clients. I have actually created on Open Friday Coffee a whole slide deck on how you go about getting more clients using systems from my book, The Thriving Solopreneur. Lynette's going to put in the chat not only the link for how do I get more clients, but below that will actually be an article that I wrote that has some of the systems that are in my book, The Thriving Solopreneur. So we want to do that for you for free. You guys have access to that. Let's talk a little bit. This came up in my early bird writer group this morning, and that is focus. That was one of the things that came up, was focus. This also kind of homage a little bit to Rich Beyer, who happens to be an awesome street photographer. Like Raven. Raven's my little robot that I use for my AI. Anyway, one of the things about focus, I have been teaching how you go about manifesting your vision and your life since about 1996, and not much has changed. Actually, if you want to sign up for creating your perfect life, I have I've done this workshop every year, and you'll see how long it's been since I've been online. I think I started in 2018 teaching this online and moving on. This is a paid thing. This is $97. And then what you do is for 90 minutes this coming Sunday, I sit down and I walk you through the process and the system that I use to not only create my perfect life, but my perfect year, my perfect week. And I run you through everything on that. Some people will be like, there's no life that's perfect. And I'm like, absolutely not. But while I'm thinking about it, and that month, Sunday morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., I'm actually living that perfect life in that moment. And then the first child wakes up and educates me on what they need for the day. And that's when I start shifting all that time blocking and time management skills. But if you want to be successful in life, you have to start with your vision. You got to start with what is success for you. And I know you've heard that until you're sick in the face with it. You're probably like, oh my God, if I hear this one more time, I'm going to throw up. Well, that's because successful people all do the same thing. It's very boring. We sit down and we decide what we want. Simple as that. Okay. Last thing, if you're wondering about the Beta Reader Hub, and I have spent quite a bit of time talking about money, it's not just for rich people because that's the book I'm working on. The next one that I'm going to be working on after that is going to be part of my Circle of the Sacred Heart, which is the 4-volume set of the Divine series. And what I'm going to do is in 2026, I will be taking all 4 of those books and putting them into one volume. And so if you want to be a part of that, you don't have to say anything on the money. It's not just for rich people. You're like, Janine, I don't need to worry with that. I got it covered. I got my money thing covered. I'm like, well, what's coming next is the spiritual journey that I'll be glad to take you guys on as I went from thinking I knew who I was to knowing who I was. I think that's the best way to describe that. Thanks so much, you guys, for listening to all of this as we go through it. Last thing that I wanted to share with you is that we will not have Open Friday Coffee next week. I will be in Arkansas. Why are you going to be in Arkansas, you may say? I'll say I will be speaking at the state's organization for podcasters. So it's called ArcCast. Ooh, love that. And Ty King has invited me to speak there. So I'll be speaking on that Friday doing that. So we're going to skip a week on Open Friday Coffee. And now I will be happy to open it up for questions and comments, suggestions. Let's see who's in the room and who's still awake with everything. Lovely to see everyone there. For starters, does anyone have any questions? Any of my students have questions? Any of my participants? Go ahead, Nancy. Not only is Nancy taking some of my courses, she's also helping me with my SEO. So she's not only an SEO expert who can help you with your Etsy and that kind of thing, but she can do a lot of amazing things. Also an author of 2 books. And every morning at 5 a.m., well, 6 a.m. now because you're Arizona, she's up on the early birds and we're writing together, just to let you know. That's how Nancy's in my world. Go ahead, Nancy. What's happening?
Well, I'm so fascinated with your book. The money is not just for rich people. We all need it. And I love how you said it was an older book, what about 10 years old, and now you are rewriting it.
Yeah,
So has a
it's
publisher
20.
picked it
You're
up?
very kind. It's 20 years old.
20 years. Okay. Well, it needs to be,
It
a
needs
lot
to
has
be
changed.
updated.
So,
It,
so is it being published by a publisher or how are you doing that?
yeah, thank you. Great question. I have been lucky enough I started off when this poor book was published. It was published in 2005. And back then, you could go with a publisher or you could do something that was called vanity publishing. You were so vain, you were publishing your own book. I went with vanity publishing. It's now called self-publishing and actually is the way you're supposed to go. But publishers won't even pick you up unless you've self-published now. You have to be like somebody with extensive following. You have to have very specific circumstances before a publisher will pick you up if you're not self-published. So you have to kind of show that you have a following and that kind of thing. But I will now be self-publishing that book. And a lot of people are like, oh, are you going to go with Amazon? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I stay with Lulu. I started with Lulu at the very beginning. I know the owner. Um, I know why he built the company and all that kind of stuff. I may stick with him, but I'm also looking at Amazon KDP just to see if they're going to be real picky about how things happen on that. It depends. I still haven't decided on that. Thanks for asking, but I can guarantee you I will not be going with a publisher. It'll be either KDP, which is Amazon's publishing arm, which, by the way, when I published in 2005, Amazon just sold books and did not have a publishing arm. So that's how long that's been having. Facebook didn't have the like button. That didn't show up till 2009. And YouTube was called MySpace. So that's kind of where I was in that publishing arena. Thanks for asking, Nancy. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Laura. What can we do for you today, dear?
Hey, I have two quick questions. Your workshop this Sunday, is it offered another time besides this Sunday? Are you going to be
You
doing it
can get the
again?
recording. My time, I can't offer it another time. So I do this once a year, and
Okay.
so this is the time I'll have that.
So if I
And
register, I can get the recording
you can
and do
get
it
the
that way.
recording, and then anytime you have questions regarding what's happening, come on to Open Friday Coffee like you are, ask your question. We'll solve it for you. So that's why I say you have one-on-one coaching with almost all of my classes because I do this almost every Friday. We'll
And my
be
other question
taking.
is, where in Arkansas?
Oh, honey, I am
Because I'm
going
only an
to.
hour and a half away from Arkansas. So I was just curious, where are you going to be in Arkansas?
I will be in Fayette, Arkansas. I'll be at the public library. And by the way, that's only about 35 miles from my stomping grounds in Missouri. So that's why when they were like, I feel like it's old home week. Like, well, I'll just fly into Cape Girardeau and drive down.
I was just curious because I thought maybe if we had a chance, we could connect. But
Okay,
I don't know what your
we
schedule
will.
looks like. Let me know.
Okay, and if you will private message Lynette your cell phone number, then we'll
Yeah.
go ahead and I'll make arrangements for that. Yeah,
Okay.
I forget about that. Well, first of all, it's lovely to have a few of you on. I haven't seen in a while. Alan, it's great to see you. And Sherry, it's been a hot minute. So, Alan, go ahead. What inspired you to join us today?
I knew I would hear a wake up message that's just got me going. So no, but it's just been a long time since I've connected with you.
Hmm.
I'm not a published author. I'm just an old friend of Janine. Old. Let me change that. I'm a friend from previous times, and I just
It's
wanted to
been a
see what
hot
you're up
minute.
to.
We've been bouncing around each other's worlds for quite some
A long
time, and
time, yeah. No, I
yeah,
just wanted to
and
check in, see how you're doing, and say hello.
oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
My focus, just to let you know from when you and I last connected, my focus is I've sold my production company, so that is off my plate. And so I still do a podcast, but it's just a podcast. It's not the radio show and the internet platforms and all that. Um, if anybody wants any kind of media exposure, I highly recommend Laura Cross. She actually has a television show and she would be able to do, she does great promotion. She's one of those that I've collaborated with because she actually promotes the way I do, which is on multiple different platforms. We're not just a YouTube channel. And I just got tired of having to constantly get new clients and doing all the client education. Come on, I've been in media since 1982. So I was kind of done with media at that point. So I sold my media company, and now I'm all focused on my readers and taking care of the people who read my books. And so that's what Open Friday Coffee is about now. Is just helping people with that. And definitely sign up for the Beta Reader Hub, Alan, because I would love your input in 2026 is when I'm going to take all four of the Seeking the Divine, Finding the Divine, Expressing the Divine, and Creating with the Divine. And I'm going to smash them all in one volume. And I'd like your help at making sure I keep that thread of spirituality consistent since you're a long
Sounds great.
time
Yeah, I'd
meditator.
love
And
to. I just signed up, so thank you for that. Yeah,
fabulous. Well, thanks. Thank you. No, thank
yeah.
you.
No,
We,
thank you.
we, fabulous. Sherry, it's been a hot minute. What can we do for you, my friend?
Oh, it has been a hot minute. I have designed a major four-tier healthy weight program. And ultimately, I'm going to have a mastermind group with it. And I've never done the mastermind group thing before because I want to develop a community that's supportive of each other being a healthy weight, regardless what that is.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
and so I just wanted to see what you had to say about that.
Okay. I highly recommend you go back and go to the original books, the original lectures, the original writings of Napoleon Hill. Mastermind has been thrown around a lot, but he had a very specific way he used the word. And I have found that masterminds work best when you follow his directives specifically. It was to be no more than 8 people. So it would be a Zoom room, only 8 people, and it was for a discrete amount of time. And he would talk about, and this is where you kind of get into the woo-woo space, but he, when he was publishing during that time, he couldn't quite use, he stayed very secular, okay, in his writing. And so what he would say is what happens is when you have those 8 people, a ninth mind will come into that room and help. And that ninth mind was the mastermind that filtered down into the rest of the people, and that there was a creative space. Now, we didn't have Zoom at the time. So he was always talking about you come to the same room, the same conference room, the same everything. Well, Zoom room is perfect for that, because you don't necessarily have to be in each other's space for that. you know some people will say, oh, you can't do a true mastermind unless you're in the same space. That's true, but then also we kind of have to do what we be where we are, so you'll still keep to the principles of what Napoleon Hill was talking about with his mastermind by doing that. And I know you want to build a community, but if you want to build a community, have that as a separate thing where you have a Zoom room and it's like this open Friday coffee where this is a community, it's Q&A, it's free of charge, blah, blah, blah. But the mastermind, everybody throws money in the pot. Everyone commits to that. And it doesn't necessarily have to go to you. I have seen masterminds where they had a nonprofit. So in my case, if I wanted to hold a mastermind for a bunch of writers, I would have the money going to a children's video books, to a nonprofit. And I'd say everybody has to donate $97. Everybody has to put money in the pot. There's something about the financial commitment plus the 8-week commitment and the 8 people. It's like it builds on itself. So go back and look at Napoleon Hill's first work. It'd be my recommendation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
And then your mastermind closes up and then you open up. And that's why the term started being, I heard the term coming back where people were trying to get back to the original Napoleon Hill mindset. They start calling them cohorts. When you hear the word cohorts, it's they're desperately trying to get back to that original mastermind feel that Napoleon Hill talked about. So good luck. Okay. And then Kathy, thanks for joining us. Kathy's also one of our early bird writers, and she's working on her book, and you're a part of NaNoWriMo. So chat with us. What's cooking with you today?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I came on here. I really don't have much to say right now.
Okay. If you do, raise your hand or use the button, raise hand at the bottom of your screen. Either one, that's fine. I just like to give everybody a chance to talk on that. So if you want to speak, go ahead. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Just raise your hand. All right. And the last shall be first. One of my favorite Hebrew ha-has. How you doing, Rich? What's happening with my favorite street photographer?
Oh, you're so sorry. You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So in New York City, live, bright and sunny today. It's about 50 degrees. And why am I here today? I'm here because I love being in the energy of Janine. I love being around other smart, creative, fun, bright people. And I've officially launched my 100-day goal yesterday.
What is it?
To get an appearance on one of the morning shows here in New York with my book.
Okay.
I think that the book is quirky enough, that I'm quirky enough, and New York is quirky enough that this could work. And so yesterday I had different chat bots up on different screens in my office, and I was feeding it information and with the help of Jeff Borshawa. And I'm en route.
Okay.
And I feel like I have like I've lit I lit the passion fire under my butt on this one.
Good.
I wrote the book and I didn't know what to do with it. So now I feel like I have a plan.
Now you have a plan. Okay, so this is your 100-day goal. May I offer some suggestions?
Please.
Okay. It's very helpful to be specific. What are the top 5 morning shows in New York City?
Are you asking me to name them, or that this is something I should be?
This is something that helps you target. So you want
There's
to be very specific.
yes,
All right. Yeah. And so do you have them listed out, the ones that you want to get on?
yes,
Oh, fabulous. Okay, good, good, good. Because
yeah.
some people forget that stuff and
No,
they
no, 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 no,
say,
no.
I just want to be on a morning show. And I'm like, ah.
No, no, no. Years ago, a friend of mine was looking for an apartment, and she kept visualizing and visualizing and visualizing. And you know what? She got exactly the apartment she was looking for. The only thing she didn't ask for and didn't get was a fireplace because she was afraid to ask for too much. So I have taken that as a metaphor in life and never forget the fireplace.
Okay, you got it. All right.
Yeah.
And so the thing I would like is, if you don't mind, put in the chat the shows that you want to get on, because I know between my network, Nancy's network, and Laura's network, somebody works there. All right. Now, I'll do this for myself, and Laura and Nancy, you can decide. I won't voluntold you. I sometimes do that on this program. But you have permission, Rich, to go through my network on LinkedIn and see if there's anybody that actually works there in my network, and then I will make an introduction. And that's how we make this a networking event without it being technically a networking event, is we offer, you can go through my LinkedIn, and because now I've met you, let me know exactly what you want, why you want to talk to this person, and I will make introductions. Even if it's a second or third person, I want to get to know them anyway. And so I can then get on, and I'll be happy to make those sorts of referrals. But that's what I choose to do when it comes to referring. It's like, I want to help you, and yet I don't want to sell you. So let me see what I can do as far as my network at helping you. That way you put your money in the focus you want to go, in the direction you want to go. You're not putting your money, into something that may not help you as well. Okay. What else is cooking, Rich? You have a beautiful photograph behind you. What are we seeing?
Whoops. So I live on the marathon route. This is a shot from my roof, and all the way in the back is the 59th Street Bridge, which is where the runners come across from Queens into Manhattan. So this is the beginning of their Manhattan journey, and I live on the east side of First Avenue, which means you can't get nowhere from there. The truth is, if you go down to that bridge, that you can get out and about, but it's like the one day of the year that you're kind of stuck. So neighbors of mine had a big open house, and it was just a big party. But
Yeah.
this is what the marathon looks like from my roof.
Excellent. Thank you. Rich always comes on and has a new picture for us. So I'm always like, and Rich, if you don't mind, tell us what's in your background. You're welcome. I love some of your stuff, especially the one where you had the person fighting against the rainstorm with their umbrella. That one won you an award, didn't it?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That was
yeah,
also in my book.
awesome. Excellent. So anyhow, for anybody who may be looking for a Christmas present for that favorite Yiddish speaking person, you want to talk to Rich about his book. Normally I have it on my desk, but I have all my books on my desk right now. So, okay. Anything else that we can help you lovely people with today? Nothing? Okay, because I believe in, oh, go ahead, Laura.
Sorry,
She
I
knows
got.
I'll
I,
close this thing down.
I know. I got one other question. And besides the fact that you keep using cooking, no, cooking for me was last week when my truck caught fire.
Oh,
I lost my truck last week. Anyway,
oh no.
so you mentioning cooking. I'm like, well, that was last week for me.
I was on fire last week.
Yeah, I was. Well, Dakota, literally, yes. So you're stepping away from the CRM, those weekly newsletter kind of things, then?
I
Or
am stepping away from platforms that I no longer have control over. So
okay,
all of my platforms, if you're not coming to me via my website or coming to me via beta readers or Open Friday Coffee, yeah, I'm slowing down. Talk to Lynette. We've been talking a lot the last couple of months about what ROI are we actually getting on Facebook? What are we actually getting from all the work we've done on LinkedIn and that sort of thing? And so I'm kind of stepping away from all that, and we're taking everything that we've done on the 8 gates and we're moving it to JanineBolon.com. So this is what happened to me. I do not know if this is appropriate for you guys. I just want to let you know this is something that occurred to me, and I think it's valuable to other business owners. And that is The Eight Gates was my business website, has been since 2015. I will not tell you the thousands upon thousands of dollars that I have spent on SEO for that, trying to get traffic to my site. And it was working, it was plugging along. But this is what really devastated me. I had several other business things that happened. So, but this was the straw that broke Janine's back, okay, so to speak, was the fact that I was put into Google jail by a hacker. A hacker managed to get into JanineBolon.com and Financial First Responder. You know, I was making money, helping people with money. That hacker got into those two, and I got put in Google jail. And as you know, if you get put in Google jail, there's not a darn thing you can do but wait it out. It's 2 years, by the way. If you go into Google jail, it's 2 years. So I had to shift my business at that time, shift it all over to the Eight Gates. So we were running the Eight Gates, getting it up and going, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, technology changed a lot since 2015. And we got out of Google jail 3 months ago. I am now ranked #1. If you type in Janine Bolon on any search engine, the first thing that pops is JanineBolon.com. I have spent zero money on that site. I have spent nothing, no SEO, nothing. And why is that ranking above LinkedIn? Right? I do not have answers for this. I have a lot of theory. I have a lot of people that say they can help me. The person that I trust is Nancy, because I know she won't take me for a ride. And that's like I'm ignoring any other advice right now. I am chucking everything I've learned over the last 10 years. I'm burning it all to the ground. I am not listening to anyone, and I am going to do my website, my learning management software, which I can use as a like an active campaign sort of thing. Um, and I am moving all my people off platforms that I have not control over because there's so much AI that is in those, and I choose not to learn it anymore. I am done. Thin. So this is me being stubborn and me be very, very focused. By the way, Nancy was the one that came up with our theme today. She was talking to me on the early birds and said, today is focus. And I'm like, I'll put a slide up for that. But I have become very focused. And so move from 2025 on, if people want to talk to me, they have to come to Open Friday Coffee, or they find me through the website, or they will find me from one of the speaking engagements I happen to have. So yeah, that's kind of how stubborn Janine and very direct Janine's going to be from now. But that's what happened.
And I think you said Nancy's the one I should connect with as far as helping me with the CRM, creating the CRM context.
SEO.
SEO.
When you get to that level, right? And you kind of want to wait just a little bit until you're ready to make an investment in your business, because you want it done right. And Nancy is an investment, but she's also shown through many things that many case studies that she will walk you through what she was able to do for people.
Okay. Understood. I was still working on building a CRM and possibly a newsletter thing, because I'm looking at a big sponsor, coming on, and looking at another way to get them out to the people I'm connected with too. But that's okay.
Yeah. Before you get involved in that level of high automation, the recommendation I would make to you is, when it comes to emailing people, what Active Campaign and others do is very powerful. Yeah, they are good, solid platforms. However, the learning curve is extensive. It's so extensive that after COVID, they ran around, Active Campaign ran around and had local workshops. And I would drive down to Denver to actually be with a human being, and they would walk you through the challenges, because they are very involved, very intricate. Okay. So for somebody who's like an e-commerce, or somebody who is really all in on the digital landscape, those are fabulous. But see, you and I want to spend most of our time on the air talking to our people, not becoming experts at CRM and Active Campaign, right? So really focus in on what your happy place is and what you want to do, and make a lot of money doing that, and then hire out as fast as you can, make it a part of your sponsorship packages, or Ask your sponsor for the use of their team. Okay.
Okay.
You become that expert, because you and I don't need to do that. And that's why my media company did so well for so long, was because I made it a part of the contracts that if I didn't want to do something, I'd say, do you have somebody on your team that can do X, Y, Z? I hope
Okay.
that's
Gotcha.
helpful.
Yep, it is. It is.
Okay.
Thank you. Because
Uh-huh.
it would put more on my plate right now, and I've got a lot going. So
No,
yeah.
no. You have enough.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got to go buy a truck now.
No, that ain't happening for a while. I got other things, but no.
Right, I hear you, but
We
I hear
sold the
you.
race trailer, so yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
going.
things are happening. Things are
Yeah.
happening.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Does anybody else have any other questions? Work on their business? Is there a challenge you have? Is there somebody in my network I might be able to introduce you to? Who do you need to meet next? Who do you want to hire next? Even if you can't afford them yet, you want to get a proposal going. Who do you want to start talking to as a potential? Those are the types of things that we can help you with here on Open Friday Coffee. Okay. All right. Well, oh, go ahead, Kathy.
I just wanted to thank Rich for what he shared about the friend with the vision board, because that's what I'm going to be working on this weekend. So that's encouraging.
Yep. I noticed that Nancy said in the chat that direct mail newsletters are working really well these days, and she's correct. One of the things I started noticing after, I won't say I had a meltdown, I'll just say I was just devastated when JanineBolon.com was hitting above LinkedIn after all the work and money that we had spent for the 8 gates, okay? And so even with all that, one of the things that was interesting was I noticed that my open rates were going nuts with MailChimp. And come to find out, there's all these AIs that will make it look like somebody's looked at it and all that. So those markers no longer are valid. And between JanineBolon.com, the stuff I was learning about AI, how things were shifting in the digital space, I went, I'm done. And so direct mail is working very well. And for those of you who do not have a lot of, you're still in the bootstrapping phase of your business, I recommend Streak. Streak works hand in hand with Gmail. And what Tasha does, for those of you who have not met Tasha, she is my wonderful executive assistant, VA, whatever you want to call it. She was a VA before they even started using the term VA. Okay. But anyway, she will use Streak. And I think you're only allowed something like 20 or 30 emails at a time to batch out using Streak. But she just sets it up on her calendar. And if you want, book a meeting with Tasha. I'll be glad to give you her contact information and ask her how she uses Streak, and then throw her a few dollars, whatever you can afford. But, she figured that out for me. And we use Streak anytime I'm trying to reach direct people. We direct message using Streak. And it may take us a full week to get through the 1,100 and some odd people I'm reaching out to, but it doesn't matter. It's not time dependent. I book out my stuff far enough ahead that I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Um, any questions from you on that? But that's how you can kind of bootstrap and not have to get involved in a very complicated CRM at this point. A lot of people talk about the CRMs, but for what we are trying to do in our business, when you're in the bootstrapping phase, an Excel spreadsheet and Streak and Gmail, it's really all you need at this stage. You don't need to move up to that other level until you have cash flow that's coming in and you're consistently getting $2,000 to $3,000 a month. When you hit that level of consistent $2,000 to $3,000 a month, that's when you want to start looking into future automation. But you really want to buy into having a VA first. Okay, get yourself replicated, as Sam Walton of Walmart said. Replicate yourself. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions before we go today? No. Okay, I'm going to leave you with something then. Please remember what it is you're doing. What I mean by that is you're a human being on planet Earth. Now, that alone is pretty exceptional. And I know it doesn't seem exceptional because you're looking around on planet Earth at 9 billion other people. But just realize the number of souls that are waiting in the wings to incarnate on this planet, because this is the e-ticket ride for those of you who remember Walt Disney having e-tickets. This is the e-ticket ride in our universe because you can make it a heaven. You can make it hell. You can make it where you're a billionaire. You know, who knew you could become a billionaire? That didn't happen until just recently. Or you can be a surf and all you do is live on the beach and you found an old rickety tent. You can have pretty much any experience you want. And also for me, this is the only place where I can get coffee and pie in all the universe. I mean, this is an exceptional experience. Now, what's even better is you chose to be with me this morning. You chose to be here on a Friday morning when there are so many other places you could have been. And I want to let you know that that means that you are part of the 0.0023% of the planet who is actively engaged in making the world evolve. You are helping evolve humanity. There's a reason why you feel a little heavy certain days, okay? And that is why. All right. So when you wake up in the morning and you find a routine that makes you feel like you can take on the world, would you please stick with that until it stops working? Until it stops working. When it stops working, you come back on and are like, it stopped working, and come up with something else, okay? It's very important that you have morning routines and evening routines, that you book into your days because of the work you're doing just by living and being on this planet. You're incredibly valuable. You're cherished beyond measure. I know you've probably read that in a couple scriptures, but literally, I know how cherished you are. Each person who comes to Open Friday Coffee has a spiritual dispensation, whether you know it or not. But I see that in you. I see that. And so I just wanted to remind you of the fact that it is an honor and a privilege to be walking the planet at the same time as you. And thank you for joining me. I love you. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next 2 weeks. See you in 2 weeks. Bye now.